Good morning, folks. Thank you for tuning into. Oh, my camera's not up. Oh, there it is. And thank you for tuning into this episode of the Ragdoll Stream. Hello, Mr. Insane Burb. Welcome in. Welcome to Lestrem. And yeah, today we're going to be starting our hopefully not painful 8-hour grind that we're hoping to do. Maybe start treating streaming like an actual part-time job or some shit. You know how it is. Oh, you got animated emotes. Neat. But yeah, as you may have heard me say on last stream or through any of my socials, we are going to be trying to treat streaming as more of a part-time job type deal by actually putting in some normal primetime hours that will both hopefully help people such as Mr. Insane Burb, who, has to stay up till god-awful hours to watch the late-night stream, and also hopefully get a little bit more exposure on the platform there, maybe bring in some new people. But yeah, so we'll go ahead and get started here doing something that we haven't done for a hot minute, and I should have looked up things. I may have made an error. Oh, those are credits. That does not help me. We're going to be doing a achievement rush through 60 seconds. Thing we haven't done in a hot minute. Because we stopped doing our Saturday streams, which were originally Achievement Saturdays, but I plan on switching over, calling them Social Saturdays. Excuse me. Just so that we... Social Saturdays being designed to both be achievement hunting style games and then possibly also multiplayer games with chat, should it be a thing. Breaker, use everything possible in your shelter. Interesting. So I'm looking over the achievements now. Still need to do Conrad style, which is going to be freaking impossible because I think I had to survive for like 111 days or something like that. Danger zone, breaker, use everything possible in the shelter. Interesting. Turn your follow shelter into a madhouse. That's to make everyone crazy, which may or may not be difficult to do. This is the end. I'm not sure what that would require me to do. Find a new friend. Trim Ted's beer the trendy way. Interesting. Beer interaction. Do I get to bully you in Mario Kart again? Eventually. Whenever, I can afford a capture card and actually stream it again. For the time being. Mario Kart would be on the back burner, but yeah, the idea is to eventually reincorporate that again. Let's do voices from behind. One game in every mode on Little Boy difficulty. Huh. Well, that doesn't sound too difficult. Always say no and when. Have I always said yes and one? Must turn fully explore your shelter. Defeat 3 bandit attacks. New Hope. I'll with other wastelanders. And Apocalypse mode. Grab only what a real gamer needs. Cat Lady. Soup can into space. Raining cats and dogs. Dawkins residence. Okay, that's the end of it. So I think we'll try to do, because it doesn't seem like the Conrad style achievement. There seems to be a cracking noise. Is that in the game? Yeah, that is in game. It's supposed to be like a radio being tuned. I think we will go ahead and try to do Naysayer and survive every game mode on Little Boy difficulty. Classic? Yes, I do a classic. Apocalypse! We'll play as Dolores, because we haven't played as Dolores in a hot minute either. Stock shelter prepper style. Oh, I see. Okay, I'm gonna have a lot of stuff in there. Okay. Yeah, let's give this a shot. Easiest difficulty, and we're gonna try to say no to everything and win. I feel like that's 2 good ones to go for. It's been a while since I played this, and I may not remember exactly how to. Also, if I remember correctly, this intro part was very, very laggy. Doesn't seem too mad. There's the med kit. Is there anything else in here? Okay. Hello, daughter. I hope you don't mind being yoinked. Thanks, Burp. Appreciate the good luck. Oops. Okay. Good to know. I can't click outside of the game if I'm not careful. Give me that. Ooh, that's good. Hello, son. Hello, husband. Give me the med kit. I will take the bug spray, some water. I see the gas mask. Bullshit, I disagree. I made it back. I disagree. I made it back. And I think, unfortunately, if our player character doesn't make it into the shelter, then it's that it does not move forward, unfortunately. Also, was that too loud? It was loud in my ears. Yeah, if we don't make it in, it's game over, which is unfortunate. Which may be for the best, because we didn't get all that great stuff. Audio good. Excellent. But remember how I said those might be easy achievements to do? Remember that when that was a lie I told myself? Let's run it again. Alright, it kept going. I didn't expect it to keep going. Okay, Timmy, you are in prime yoinking position. And I believe it takes 2 to yoink Timmy. Oh no, I clicked out of the game. Please stop doing that. Get in there, child! Hello, daughter. Oh no! Hello, husband. I got time. Nope, you gotta go. We did it! We at least tried. Uh-oh, coding error. That's no good. Calm yourself, OBS. Calm yourself. Alright, cool. It's happy again. Okay, we're gonna pause for a quick second. But now you're locking my screen. You're being not great to me, game. I see what's happening. Okay. And onward. Yeah, I did desync for a second. The game got mad at me. We got a lot of shit in here. I'm feeling good about this. All of us made it into the shelter just a second before the blast. That was a close one. As long as we're all together, we can make it work down here. We remember hearing canned soup is healthy for you. When we opened the shelter door, we noticed some of the shelves were already stocked. We can't really say we recall putting all of these supplies here, but we're definitely going to put them to good use. Excellent. Good thing we grabbed the suitcase. What we found inside will definitely prove useful. Our shelves are full of cans. We'll eat from cans, we'll sleep on cans, we'll even talk to cans. Some of us already do. Plenty of water means we don't have to worry about that for some time. Game audio is still good? Because it looks like it's competing with me a little bit. This is the best stock shelter we've ever seen. We've never seen another one, but we're sure this is a good amount of supplies. I would agree. Oh dear, we just remembered we plan on taking a trip south in 2 months. If it's still there, we are going, right? We're pretty sure they don't bomb warm places. Maybe a touch loud. I figured as much. We're gonna whisper you. That should be good. Maybe. Day number 2. Planning far ahead is usually a good strategy, but for now we should be more interested in our plan for water rationing. Mary Jane didn't cause any trouble today, and no trouble dared to cross her path. Nothing new to report on Timmy. Dolores is fine and well, as much as anyone can be fine and well in this tiny shelter. There isn't much going on with Ted. No trouble, nothing new. Excellent. The contamination of our town is still strong. Scavenging in these conditions could result in radiation sickness. Then we're not gonna do... Well, we do have a gas mask, though. This is insane. We keep finding spiders everywhere. They're in our soup, they're in our water. We search some of them, keep coming back, and they are bigger every time we see them. It can't go on like this. It's time to wage war on these spiders. Do we wage war on the spiders? We'll probably lose the handbook if we do that, and I don't want to lose the medical supplies. I'll let the spiders be. Because, you know, I know some of you may have arachnophobia. Spiders are our friends, believe it or not. They're cuddly, fuzzy, 8-legged monsters. And sometimes they're made into a hot monster girl. We decided we could get rid of those spiders with our bare hands, feet, and whatever other body parts we can use for lethal anti-spider attacks. Fortunately, we underestimated their chances. They're really fast. Whole Wicked Chief was getting tired. Maybe we'll have more luck next time. Getting something to drink for Mary Jane sounds like the right idea. Tim prefers apple juice, but right now, we should get him some water. Spiders can live in the corner and not move, or else they go slat. Exactly. Dolores has to drink sometimes. Ted needs water to survive. Y'all can go another day. It looks like the area is still irradiated. Going to the wasteland right now is unsafe, unless you don't mind getting sick. So let's not do that. We had the most curious visitors today. One of them was making the sound of a galloping horse using a pair of rocks and pinning them against each other, while his companion was pretending to ride said horses. They claimed to be on a very important quest to seek some magical cup, only they lost their way in the wasteland. They asked permission to have a quick look at our map to determine their whereabouts. So, theoretically, since, you know, that's obviously a Monty Python reference, I believe I heard a fun fact that the Monty Python and the Search for the Holy Grail was because it was a low-budget film, they originally planned on having actual horses, but couldn't afford it, so they came up with the guy smacking the two rocks together. Also, 95% of spider monster girls are into bondage, so that's a matter of opinion. A correct opinion. Good thing Yonzer's not here to correct me. Don't ask where she is. Yeah, we'll let them read the map. Why not? I don't think that counts as a yes. Saying yes to something. They were clearly crazy, but harmless, so we fulfilled their request and it was worth it. They turned out to be very generous and gave us an axe. They claimed it was a magical battle axe, but to us, it looks just like a regular axe. Whatever, as long as the blade is sharp. Mary Jane keeps feigning. We really need to find her something to drink, fast. Timmy's in terrible shape. We need to get him water, now. Yonzer's in sleep mode right now, I assume. Yeah. Dolores will not survive without water any longer. Ted looks like he's got one foot in the grave. He needs to get a drink right now. Yeah, she's doing the slap. Alright, water for everyone. Looks like the area is still irradiated. Going to the wasteland right now is unsafe unless you don't mind getting sick. I'll give it a couple more days before I send Ted out with the gas mask. As we were about to start our book club discussion on the only book we've all read, the phone book, we were interrupted by rapid knocking at the door. We found out it was a group of refugee survivors who survived the blast just like we did. They were doing much worse than us and begged us to provide them with any water, food, or medical supplies we could spare. I could spare food. Because otherwise I don't have anything else. Yeah, I don't believe doing these trades technically counts as saying yes to options. Our visitors had problems finding enough words to express their gratitude. Many tears were shed, smiles and hugs exchanged, and they wished us all the best. It's a great feeling to be helping out someone out. They left soon after to seek shelter in the ruins of our town. We hope they make it out of there. Mary Jane says she's fine and doesn't need anything. Nothing new to report on Timmy. Dolores is doing quite well, or she just can't find anything to complain about today. There's nothing new going on with Ted. Nothing new, anyway. I'm still learning how to read, guys. Be gentle. Every smell attacks our noses in this little shelter. Instantly. There isn't much we can miss, so when a single brick fell out from the wall revealing a tight opening, our senses were immediately invaded by a terrible stench. We should probably check that hole out and see what the source of that smell is. Nope! Because we're a naysayer this episode. We decided to ignore the hole, the stench, and anything that might happen because of it. We've taken enough risk already. We ended up feeling a bit unwell, and later on we heard something moving in the hole. A few hours after that, the smell was gone. There isn't anything new bothering Mary Jane. Nothing new to report on Timmy. And then everyone died to the gas leak. Yeah! If there was anything to report about Ted or Dolores, this is where it would have been written. Ted seems to be doing alright, even though the world has gone to a crappy place. Oh, never mind. I mean, you're probably not too far off. Our neighborhood is still highly radioactive. Trips to the surface are a big risk for our health right now. We never thought we lived to see a dancing cockroach. We still haven't, but we saw one that was nearly as big as a cat. The good news is they've probably scared off any rats in the area. The bad news is they are huge and will probably attack us when they get the chance. Fix an achievement for killing the cockroaches. But do I want to waste the Boy Scout handbook? Yeah, I guess we'll give it a shot. Kersplat! No, we didn't just waste the handbook. Excellent. That was close. Nest of those glowing bugs might have been worse. Even might have been more than enough to drive us out into the wasteland. Squeesh. Roaches are the worst, but radioactive roaches? Yikes. Mary Jane is quite hungry. Everyone has to drink sometimes, including Mary Jane. Is there any water left? Timmy is very hungry. How about getting Timmy something to drink? He's not looking well. Dolores has not eaten for a while. Water is all Dolores wants. Ted is hungry. Ted should drink something soon. Y'all can go another day. Contamination of our town is still strong. Scavenging in these conditions could result in radiation sickness. There's been some radio chatter about airdrops from the military. It's about time. All those taxes had to pay for a crate or two for us, right? Shall we head out to get them? Yeah, sure, why not? Seems like a swell idea. Alright, I heard a telephone. You broke it! Went to get the supplies and our gas mask got a bit damaged. Note taken, don't stand under a supply crate when it's falling out of the sky. The airdrop crate we found wasn't exactly huge, but it contained a few supplies that will definitely help us. We're especially happy to find some water bottles and food cans. For a minute, we thought it was canned meat, but then we found out it was tomato soup. Our theory is that this whole country used to run on tomatoes, and no one suspected a thing. Mary Jane Stein could use a little food, keeps fainting. Yeah, we'll feed and water everyone. Ring, ring. There we were, thinking we would never hear a telephone signal again, when suddenly a phone starts ringing from somewhere outside. We figured it's the phone booth across the street. Should someone go answer it? Timmy! Now, Timmy, I understand that last time we were playing this, you kind of blew up a couple times. I understand that. Completely my fault. But are you ready to be my buddy again and run out into that wasteland? I believe in you, boy. He's fine. Is Simon gonna be turned into Mystic? No, he's gonna be turned into Fog. When we answer the phone, we could clearly hear a gasp of relief from the caller. They introduced themselves as survivors from a nearby town of Hill Valley. We had started exchanging information when the call was cut short. Something must have gone wrong on their side. We hope they will get back to us. We're so afraid for Timmy, but he came back from the wasteland and is safe with us now. Y'all are hungry, but y'all can, y'all can relax. Looks like the area is still irradiated. Going to the wasteland right now is unsafe, unless you don't mind getting sick. We decided to have some fun today and play a game or two. The first one was picking the game we are going to play. This took us most of the day, and we still haven't made up our minds. I just like this family sometimes. We decided to act out scenes from our favorite movies to amuse ourselves, at least for a moment. For some reason, every time we picked a new scene, we ended up with one from a Humphrey Bogart film. Okay. Jane seems fine. Timmy should eat something in the store or anything. Or the swear would have been written. No new problems or trouble with that this morning. So only Timmy's hungry. I get you're a grown boy and all, but no food for you. Oops. I completely skipped over that. Hopefully it was not important. So Timmy's gone. What did I skip over? Oh. You didn't say he was that hungry. You said he was a little boy hungry. This little bitch could not survive one more day without food. Oh, good riddance. I'm not raising any weaklings in this family. Good riddance to him. Hunger drove Timmy insane. When he realized we won't be able to provide for him, he snuck out and never returned. The best medicine for any sickness or injury is to clench your teeth and ignore it. That's what our grandma always said. Of course, she's dead, and has been for a while, ever since she got that nasty frog bite at the age of 25. Drink for Mary Jane. Doors will not last long without water. And everybody's thirsty. Y'all can survive a day. Our neighborhood is still highly radioactive. Trips to the surface are a big risk for our health right now. God, Timmy, say something if you're starving to death, right? It was like Timmy got hunger. He hungry. Not, hey, Timmy's gonna die if he doesn't eat something. If there's anyone who could rescue us from this hellish situation, it's our government. You can badmouth them all you want, but that probably means you're either a naysayer or a commie. We're good citizens. We've been paying our taxes regularly, so we're sure Uncle Sam is coming to get us. Well, except that one time when we... Never mind. The government people are coming, and we should keep our ears and eyes open for any sign from them. Sure. I trust the green men with the firearms. We made contact. The military is out there and they're coming for us. All we need to do is wait patiently. The soldier with the boring voice was very specific about this. Help is on the way. We just need to wait for further instructions to keep our radio in working order. Mary Jane is hungry and needs Wawa. Dolores needs Wawa. Ted needs Wawa. Wawa for everyone. Time to listen to some radio chatter. Maybe we'll pick up some useful shred of information on how to get out of this mess. Sure. A friendly soul on the radio was talking about a supply pack she lost during a trip through our town. We immediately realized she must have driven through our street. We rushed out and got to the package before anyone else. Excellent. Mary Jane is hungry, Dolores wants to munch, and Ted is hungry. One more day. We know very little about what's going on outside. It'd be a good idea to find out more. Maybe discover if anyone else made it to safety. A radio could help with this. Sure. I'll use the thing till it breaks. Haha, they trust the government, right? What 1960s Americans? We were able to get a weak signal what's happened in the government's emergency announcement service, and guess what? Great news. The file outside has mostly gone. It should be much safer to travel on the surface now. Mary Jane side could use food. Ted has not eaten for a while. Yeah, sure. You know what kind of food? I got plenty. We're not certain about the situation on the surface. The trip could be risky, but we could also really use supplies. I don't think we need to go, actually. You maniacs, you blew it up. Ah, damn you. Damn you to hell. That's something we should have told our neighbors when they blew up their barbecue last spring. Those were good times, even if they wasted perfectly good barbecue. So far, so good. What we make of today will be our tomorrow, so let's make it right. Mary Jane just died, could use a little food, everyone has a drink. Didn't I just feed y'all? I just fed y'all. We're not certain about the situation on the surface. Yeah, we don't need to go. We never thought we'd live to see a dancing cockroach. We still have it, but we saw one that was nearly as big as a cat. Good news is, they probably scared off any... didn't I do this already? Did I not murder your entire family, Mr. Cockroach? That was close, and that's those... Yeah, we did that already. Mary Jane keeps fading. She needs Wawa, will not survive on Wawa, needs Wawa, everybody wants Wawa. And might as well feed y'all too, why not? You know, this game seems a lot more relevant since 2020. That bit about seeing the neighbors cut Steve, right? Wouldn't you know it, our dear Mary Jane keeps a diary. For some reason, she was hiding it in this outbook we keep in our shelter. We have no doubts what needs to be done right now. Each of us must be assigned a role, and the diary must be read aloud, right? No, we will not traumatize our daughter. We already kicked out our one son. Why would we traumatize the favorite in the family? Mary Jane thanked us for respecting her privacy. She then ripped out and tore all the pages, set them on fire, stomped on them, and fed them to a mutated rat outside. A bit excessive, but we all feel better now that it's been dealt with. We still wonder what she wrote about us, though. It's perfect how well Mary Jane is doing. Life is hard for us right now, but Dolores is in a good mood today. Enough going on with Ted. A sleazy-looking trader carrying an equally scruffy bag on his shoulder paid us a visit. He offered us a simple one-time deal. Just one can of soup, we get the bag and all of its contents. We can't see what's inside. The trader gives us angry grunts every time we take steps towards some serious bag. Should we make the deal? No. I think the kitty's in the bag, and we don't want the kitty because that'll kill Teddy boy. Our grandparents always told us to never buy anything sight unseen, and we're not about to start now. Gone are the times of yard sales. We can manage without whatever junk is in that mysterious bag. And everybody's doing okay. This morning, we were surprised to find a letter on our doorstep. It was not signed and it contained a location and time for a meeting tonight, and a few sentences. It said things like, "We're friendly, come unarmed, send one person." We have no idea who could have sent that, but we're guessing this is our chance to find out. Are we sending someone? Yeah, let's send the favorite child. Kitty is better than Ted. Yeah, I mean, I agree. And the cat is Russian, but... It's true. It's all true. There really are others just like this. We arrived at the rendezvous unarmed and on time, and we were greeted by a friendly-looking group of survivors, being led by twins, a brother and a sister, who seemed to be friendly enough. They asked us some questions and promised to stay in touch. Nothing made us happier than the sight of Mary Jane returning to the shelter from the surface. And everybody's doing okay. Whoever designed the fallout shelter was a genius, but we can't really tell if that green stuff dripping from the pipe is an included feature. We should probably try doing something about it with whatever we brought down here. We'll use the briefcase. That seems like a swell idea. Alright, we lost the briefcase. We grabbed our old suitcase and shoved it under the pipe. It seemed like all the liquid that was supposed to leak out did so during the night. On the bright side, we don't have to worry about the smell making us sick anymore. Downside, our suitcase is completely ruined. Dolores will not survive without Wawa. It looks like it's got one from the grave. Okay, water for everyone. Last time we went on an expedition, we noticed an abandoned tank just sitting out there in the open. It looks undamaged, but may it contain useless. But may it contain? No, that should be. But it may contain. Game devs. Can we get a game dev in chat to talk about this, please? Shall we send someone to investigate? Mary Jane, go hang out in a tank. Go become tanky. It's what Rio would want. The tank was equipped with protective gear, including a spare gas mask. Now it's ours. Huh, excellent. This is going surprisingly well, you know, excluding Timmy being a little bitch. Military strength's been again. They said their first step is to locate any remaining survivors. A plane will be doing a sweep over our neighborhood this evening, and we're supposed to be out in the open, signaling to it with a flashlight. Sure! I trust the people who are half responsible for this nuclear apocalypse. Everything was going as planned, but then the flashlight stopped working. We were lucky to get it fixed just in time to hear the distant roar of the plane's engines. We're pretty sure the pilot saw us. Let's see if they get back to us. It could be, but may contain useful supplies with a question mark, and they accidentally used a period. That's true. You make a good point, Burp. You are the premier English person in this stream. The boredom and silence are overwhelming. Too bad we don't have a TV to keep us occupied. Maybe we could take advantage of some of our supplies to pretend they're props on a movie set. Sure, I'll play around with a sharp axe. Seems like a swell idea. Ted and Mary Jane used to be big cinema buffs before the apocalypse, so they instantly jumped on the idea. Mary Jane always complained singing in the rain lacks action, so he took the axe and improvised an extra scene. Very bloody. He insisted the movie would have been way better if it had more axes in it. Haha, I had to retake English class for 2 years. They give us like 4 of those in high school. Everyone has to drink sometimes. Go to Mary Jane. Is there any water left? Sure, y'all can have some food and water. How about that lake we've been going to for the past few years? It would be so good to find ourselves there, far away from all this madness. Swim a little, maybe take a boat ride. Even if the whole place turned into Adamville. Alright, we're still going strong. We're still alright. As long as we're safe, we could stay down here. Mary Jane's feeling safe, and everybody's doing okay. You stumble upon a weird radio signal when changing radio frequencies. Pretty sure that behind the layers of terrible static and screens, we could hear a voice. A voice speaking in a foreign language. Oh dear, what if it's the Soviets? We should probably listen to it, but what about the children? I'll be damned if my children are subjected to such dead language, such as Sovietism. We decided to protect our delicate American ears and turned off the radio. It was unintelligible anyways. Wait, did the gas mask get fixed? I think I missed that. It was inside the tank. It's always better when things are calm. Luckily, nothing new happened to Mary Jane. Yeah, everybody's doing good. We woke up today feeling uncomfortable. It was like someone or something was watching us. We could have sworn we noticed movement in the shadows. If anything besides us is alive in the bunker, it's time to teach it who's boss. Sure, I'll fuck up the shadows with an axe. Seems like a brilliant idea. Whatever it was, it's dead now. Quite dead. Maybe there's more hiding somewhere in one of those nasty little holes. And everybody's thirsty. You'll survive a day without water. You would expect a nuclear explosion wouldn't be enough to quench any petty arguments. When the future is not looking too pretty and all you see is naked walls, not much is necessary for an explosion. It happened. We started fighting like crazy. Unfortunate. Kill the shadow demons. Exactly. We're done hunting, but for how long? That was quick. Alright. Food and water for everyone. Oh, no. Go back, please. Then we're going to be sending someone out for an expedition. Some door-to-door salesman found his way to our shelter. I remember him from before the apocalypse. He came with a bunch of leaflets and tried to convince us to join something called Astro Citizen, but we refused. Now he wants supplies and says he'll reveal some state secrets to us in return. I got enough food to do that. Why not? We are generous, so we shared our supplies with him. He tried to make us believe that America was a working space station in orbit, or rather had since, according to that guy, exploded when the bombs dropped. How convenient. A working space station. What a joker. He was probably so hungry and dehydrated his brain started playing tricks on him. Well, that was a waste. Hey, Ted, why don't you... I don't know, take the gas mask. That's fine. I probably won't need that. Dolores and Mary Jane want some girl times. Ted, get out. It's impressive how well Mary Jane is handling the situation. She looks fine today. Cool. Everybody's doing okay. The siblings are back. The group is growing bigger and with each passing day as they pick up tired and hungry survivors and nurse them back to health. However, so far they only have one tent, and soon they will run our space. Run out of space for everybody. Right now they're scouting the town looking for a good spot to build a bigger camp, and they could really use a map. Sure, they could use it. Game is literally unplayable with all these spelling errors. They didn't have to ask twice. These people are very friendly, and the way they take care of others is impressive. We showed them the map and pointed out a few bandit camps that they should avoid. They were grateful and stayed for a little chat. They said they would be more than happy if we came to visit them once their camp is ready. We can't wait to see how it turns out. And the girls are thirsty. Y'all can last one more day, though. Our favorite radio station stopped broadcasting. When we tried other frequencies, we found nothing but static. Are all the stations gone? Maybe we should take our radio and increase its range. No! Never do that. That will never, ever be a good idea. You fools. We're sure they're experiencing technical issues. Yes, that's it. Everything will be just fine. And both of you need water. We're afraid the army won't get back to us, but they eventually did. The next transmission was full of evacuation promises, but it ended on a big if. The speaker requested that any survivor groups armed with firearms should dispose of them before they get rescued. I don't know what this is about, but it sounds like violating our rights. On the other hand, are there any laws and rights left? Or is it everyone for themselves? Political joke about the Second Amendment here. Rio's not here, so I can't really, I don't have anyone to piss off with that opinion. Since we didn't have a gun to begin with, soldiers shouldn't have any issues with us. Everybody's okay. We got scared a little bit today when all of a sudden our map just fell off the wall. Maybe our shelter is haunted. When the map fell down, it revealed some sort of safe behind it. We don't remember installing it, but we could probably crack it. Well, we technically have all the time in the world to do it. Should we try? No. Safes are dangerous. There's nothing safe in a safe. No way in hell we're messing with the safe. What if it really is some ghost who will haunt us after we open it? No thank you. And everybody's okay. We were sure we looked through our supplies carefully, but Mary Jane spotted something all of us missed. A seed. A plant seed. Should we plant it to see what happens? But we need a bottle of water for that. Should we use it? No! Oh yes, the Second Amendment that hasn't been updated in a few hundred years since guns took 20 seconds to fire one bullet. You're using that brain thing again, Burb. You need to save those wrinkles for when we play Professor Layton later. There are plenty of better ways to use our water. Drinking comes to mind, so Mary Jane will have to think of another way to occupy herself. It seems that Mary Jane took it harder than we thought. She really was emotionally invested in growing that plant. Okay. Y'all can have some food and water, and hopefully Ted will bring back some water. It's hard being down here, living here. We need to make the best of it, or else we might find ourselves in even more trouble. Ted? Ted! Can't tell if he brought water or not. It's hard not to worry considering our current situation. Some days we're still struggling to deal with this shelter life, but we can't lose hope. Ted has safely returned from his voyage to the surface. The local school is a big building a mile away from our house. Nobody liked that place. The atomic blast didn't change that. Now without windows and few walls remaining, it looks even more unpleasant. Pleasant or not, it seems like a good spot to hunt for some useful supplies. Everybody adored the lunch lady. She was almost 80 and everything she touched tasted great and smelled of tomato. Now we know her secret: tomato soup cans. Biology class had an aquarium. Fish had died since no one fed them. But the aquarium water could still be drinkable. Ew. No. Fish poop in that. Don't do that. There was enough for a few bottles. There's nothing bother Mary Jane, and Ted's being Ted. I don't need to do another voyage. Dreadful science is becoming boring, and like every happy model family, we don't have that many things to talk about. Is there anything we can do about that? Anything at all? Radio? Ah, how fortunate. We took the radio with us. We could probably listen to some music. But they still play music out there, don't they? Mary Jane didn't cause any trouble. Ted is still hungry, but, he can survive the day. You would expect a nuclear explosion would be enough to quench any petty arguments. We already did that. Like, if you have choose between death and some fishy water, I'd probably die, but I'm the exception. I mean, I would drink the fishy water if it's between death and, fishy water. Maybe it flavored it. Fish flavored water sounds horrendous. Everybody's okay. A sleazy-looking traitor carrying No, we already told you to fuck off. Day 38. This might be the farthest we've ever gone. We're doing decent. My grandparents always told us never buy anything sight unseen, yada yada yada. I'll feed and water everyone. There's another military announcement on the radio. The soldiers are nearby and ordering a single person from each survivor group to meet them and outline the group's situation. This is a bit odd. We do hope they mean well. It's pretty much the only thing we can do, so it's probably worth sending someone over. Sure, go say hi, Dolores. It's what instincts a fish, like Dolores. Don't enjoy that. Managed to make it to the meeting in time. We tried our best to answer the questions the soldiers asked us. Let's hope we fulfilled their expectations. And our ragged appearance didn't make a bad impression. Dolores is okay. Mary Jane's fine. Dolores is fine. Ted is hungry, but you know, he'll get over it eventually. Siblings and their friendly group came by the shelter today to inform us that their camp has been finished. Now they wish to establish some sort of schooling system within the camp. Some of the kids didn't even manage to learn to read before the bomb fell. They need any books they can get their hands on to help educate the youngsters, and so far, the only reading material they found were some communist propaganda flyers. No mods, chat anarchy. Burb, no! Unless... let it burn. We get to them our beloved scout handbook. It will do for younger kids, but one day they will have to establish a complete education system. How about the kids paying 10,000 soup cans to participate in the lessons? We're sure they can find a way to give it back after they finish school and get some sort of job in the wasteland. Makes perfect sense. Told you Ted to get over his hunger. Everyone's fine. Mary Jane is restless and lonely. She really misses her music lessons, and she would love to visit her high school again. It's a little further than Timmy's school, but it could be worth the trip. There could still be some supplies there, or maybe she runs into some other kids. It's risky, of course, but it might not be the worst idea ever. So how about it? Should she go on a walk? No! I told you no! I wouldn't know about college tuition jokes, because I chose to be uneducated. We now have a valid reason to say one of the weirdest things you can ever tell your teenager kids. No, Mary Jane, you will not go to school today, and that's the end of it, young lady. Thirsty and hungry. Y'all can wait a day. The situation is getting worse every day. We can see the hunger and desperation in each other's eyes. We know a teacher from a local school rescued a bunch of kids when the bomb fell. We also know what kind of supplies are in the school shelter. As part of the community, we helped stock it for an emergency. Technically, they're ours, right? Should we reclaim them in our hour of need? No, we don't need them that bad. Rio wouldn't know either because he sold himself to the military. Accurate. I mean, they paid a pretty penny for him, at the very least. I mean, let's be real. He was worth it, right? I mean, with his help, we finally annexed Canada. Robbing innocent people? Absolutely not. We are not savages. We cannot stoop that low. It's important to keep our values, even in these troubled times, especially in these troubled times. Let's set a shiny example. You mean a shining example? Yeah, I'll feed water everyone. Mary Jane didn't utter a single word today. This is very odd. Maybe someone should find out what's going on with her. Nah. She's just being quiet. She doesn't want to talk. I will not be the prying parents. The Shining's example? Yeah. It's difficult to get through to Mary Jane. That's why we decided to leave her be. Everybody's okay. Yeah, it's Shining example, is it not? Not shiny? Are we about to have a Mandela effect moment? It's very difficult to prepare for unseen circumstances. We don't see them coming while they are unforeseen by definition. So that does make a lot of sense. We can't say we were prepared for what happened. What happened? Or do you mean the bombs? Bomb members are one thing, but we need to be ready for a harsh reality that awaits us. And everybody's okay. It is a perfect circle. I like that band. We Conducting our daily supply count, we've noticed that a soup can was missing. Absolutely sure it was there yesterday. That can only mean one thing. We have a soup thief among us. We'll blame Ted, because I mean, look at that beard. He got tomato sauce on his shirt. Looks like we just made a mistake when counting and started pointing fingers instead of making sure that the can was actually missing. It was easy to think that the worst one is stuck on the ground in a tiny stinky cement box. The can was there all along, and the only thing we managed to do is turn against each other and fight for no reason. Oops, lesson learned. And everybody's thirsty, but y'all can wait a day. So easy to escalate silly arguments in close quarters doesn't help. We were chatting and then suddenly we were fighting and fighting. Let's just hope we'll get over this soon. Day 46. We're going strong. We're done fighting, but for how long? Ted's okay, so we're not going to give him any water? Day has come. We can't keep lying to ourselves. The shelter is big enough for all of us. Someone has to leave and make their... Fucking what? We're kicking someone out? Excuse me? Fucking excuse me? What? Alright, Burb, I guess, do we want to kick someone off the island, or... What the hell? Goodness. I mean, I want to say no to kicking anyone out, but... We're kicking Dolores out? Alright. See you, Dolores. Ted and Mary Jane are gonna have father-daughter... well, Ted's crazy. We're sure Dolores can survive on the wasteland by herself. She's strong and resourceful. Good luck, Dolores. Ted hasn't gone crazy. She has done shit. She was our player character. She brought all the supplies down here. During the night, we heard some suspicious sounds coming from behind our door. When we peeked out in the morning, we saw a leather suitcase. It had no address or name on it, but we're pretty sure it was meant for us. Should we open it? No. That was you. I mean, I was controlling her. It's pretty simple. If we don't know where it comes from, we cannot trust it. Don't know where we're taking this gift. We left it outside. Maybe some cockroach will run it. The kind of cockroach that enjoys ties, an occasional cigar, and of course, a leather suitcase. Ted needs some water. A knock on the door is not something we take lightly these days, so when a man came to our doorstep offering us a highly profitable game of cards, we weren't convinced. Is a bet of 2 soup cans and a card game a reasonable choice in our situation? No. I'm good, man. Alright, Ted's feeling better, but he's still crazy. Gambling is a terrible habit. What kind of example is that to set the kids? We need supplies, but we're not getting them like that. We sooner rob somebody. We sent that man away. Good riddance. Fine. We'll feed and water Mary Jane. We're gonna need to send Mary Jane out. If there's one sure way to get our attention, it's definitely banging on our shelter door. Whoever it is, they're quite persistent. They've been at it for the past 5 minutes. Should we open it? Never. Literally never. What kind of example is that to set the kid? Hey. We got the achievement for Naysayer. Excellent. We have made progress. We're not opening the door. Who knows what's on the other side? Better safe than sorry, especially now that we're so close to getting out of this mess in one piece. Let's hope the military gets here soon. Dad is hungry. Enough sitting around, it's time to visit the surface and look for some additional supplies. Hey, Mary Jane. Have a gas mask. And good luck. Day 51. God, we've almost survived 2 months in this shelter. Ted is thirsty. Someone at the door, we cannot hear what they're saying, but they have been banging on it like crazy. Maybe it's good news, maybe it's bad news. Should we open the door? Never. We're still saying no to all that. Oh yeah, solitude. Exactly what the crazy man needs. Yeah. We're not opening the door. Who knows what's on the other side? Better safe than sorry, especially now that we're so close to getting out of this mess in one piece. Let's just hope the military gets here soon. Ted keeps behaving really oddly. Seems he's busy fighting his inner demons most of the time. I mean, same though. It's never a good time to go out in the radioactive wasteland, but it seems like this would be a necessity in this new world of ours. We thought it would be a good idea to make this happen sooner rather than later. Plan a trip outside. Before we could make the third step beyond the shelter doors, an unknown creature started growling at us in the darkness. We only had moments to decide what to do. Flashlight. Because that's a good boy barking at me. We decided to check what's coming for us with our flashlight. Guess what? It was a dog. Poor thing seemed tired, so we let it stay with us for the night. Next morning, we opened the door to let it out, and it still hasn't returned. Hopefully, it will come back later. Ted tries to hide, but it's obvious he has a lot of issues. He often has lengthy conversation with the sock puppet. Also same. I mean, that's nothing out of the ordinary. Well, we would give to enjoy the sunshine again. We can't say there's a lot of light underground. We don't expect it to get any brighter down here. You say so. Hey, Mary Jane's back. Looks like you brought me food, but not water, which is not ideal. Still, it's better to be safe down here, better dead here than in the core. Nothing made us happier than the sight of Mary Jane returning to the shelter from the surface. Silent Wasteland had at least one resident who managed quite well. It was a proud-looking monkey. We had no idea where it came from. The zoo, maybe? It seemed very friendly. After getting a few pats on the back and playing fetch, it started following us. While we explored one of the streets, our monkey companion ran away. Psh, noob needs a sock puppet, and I could simulate a whole apartment in my head, right? What a loser. Oh, to come back moments later carrying a can of food. He couldn't open it himself, but was happy to share it with us. At one point during our expedition, the monkey started making weird noises and dinging in front of us with a stick. A quick investigation revealed a few bottles of water. No one even tried to open them. The same could be said about those bottles of booze lying next to them. Mary Jane's tired. Ted needs water. Mary Jane is hungry. Mary Jane says she doesn't feel complete without her musical instrument. If she hit it well, maybe her tuba is still safe somewhere in the ruins of our house. A reminder of her hobbies and what life used to be might cheer her up a bit and make the situation easier for her. Should we let her go out for a quick look around the house? No! Mary Jane, no. No happiness for you. Oh, Mary Jane is also crazy now. Very good. Risking your life for a tuba? Madness. If it was a guitar or at least a trumpet, but a tuba? Playing the tuba won't put soup on the table. Maybe Mary Jane isn't happy, but she needs to realize how pointless the idea was. What Ted did today was really absurd. During dinner, he suddenly jumped out of his seat and started boxing the gas mask hanging on the wall. He appeared to trade insults as well as blows with the inanimate object. Apparently, he had mistaken the mask for a bloodthirsty stranger, intent on stealing our cans. Although we were very impressed with his right hook and his eagerness to defend our family, violence is really not his style. Also, the mask is completely destroyed. Ted really showed him who's boss. That's a man who's training for the inevitable. Ted seems to be losing it. Either we do something or this bunker will drive him completely insane. He's already pretty nuts. Mary Jane's hungry? Yeah, you got food. I got plenty of that. Ring, ring. There we were, thinking we would never hear a telephone signal again. Yeah, sure, Mary Jane. Go check it out. We're about to game over soon anyways. When we answer the phone, we get clear here, cast of relief. I already talked to you guys. I already talked to them, though. Game, you being weird. And food for everyone. Knock, knock. This sound always surprises and confuses us. It can mean anything, good or bad. No! I shall not open my door for you. He destroyed that mask. Did he not break his hand on the concrete? No, he's very strong. Things stopped after a while, and whoever was behind the door left. We had no idea who it was. Will we ever find out? It's always better when things are calm. Luckily, nothing new happened to Mary Jen. Ted needs water. Ted is losing it. Yada, yada, yada. Sure, Teddy boy, you can have a little sip of the liquid. You can have a little sippy. No, I will not do your deal, mister. I will not trade with you. Our grandparents always told us, yada yada yada, Mary Jane is thirsty. Sure, she could have a little sippy too. Barking on our doorstep can only mean one thing. Our dog friend's back. Not caring for hazards of the wasteland, we rushed to open it, and there he was. The poor thing seems tired and starving. Should we share some of our food with him? Abso-freaking-lutely. I will feed this dog. I will feed Mary Jane to him, if that's what it needs to be. The dog was back to his former self in under an hour. We don't know what they put in that soup, but man, that stuff is good. We decided the dog needed a name, and the right name for him was Pancake. Come here, Pancake. Who's a good boy? Pancake stayed around for a while, but he was gone the next morning. We could bet he will be back. Mary Jane still acts peculiarly, not the happy, bright young lady she used to be. Ted is still crazy. So does that door. Out of hear what they're saying. I will never open this door for anyone. That's me in real life, too. I will not open my door for any random stranger. We're not opening the door. Who knows what's on the other side? Better say sorry, yada yada. Ted needs water, otherwise everybody's just going crazy. Pet doggo. Love the dog and pet the dog. I guess we have to set Ted out into the ways. We decided to have some fun today and play a game or two. The first one was picking the game, yada yada. Day 61. Alright, Mary Jane is getting worse. We played Truth or Dare. When it turned out we were only kept asking the same questions, the most common ones are, we going to eat anything besides truth today? Besides soup today? You guys aren't playing Truth or Dare correctly. Besides, that's enough games for now. No need to ration supplies. We'll send Mary Jane back out into the wasteland. She can, I don't know, she can have the axe. Good luck. And then there was Ted. Ted is hungry. Sure are, man. We initially thought that was something that turned out to be heavy knocking on the door. Someone either hates that door or is very determined to have someone answer it. Should we open it? No! God, no. Stop trying. We're not opening the door. I'll Ted which source a few drops of water. Mary Jane is going to hunt for some meat, kill anything or anyone. It's all you need. When we heard knocking on the door this morning, we held our breath in fear, but we soon heard children's voices coming from outside. We decided to open up. It turned out the voices belonged to a pair of Girl Scouts. They used to sell cookies, but they have branched out to, now they offer items too. Smart girls. Sure, we'll trade bullets for a book. That seems like a wise trade. The girls were very kind and their prices were more than fair, so we gladly accepted their offer. How very clever of them to keep their business alive even after the apocalypse. We're impressed. Ted needs water. Hey, it's Pancake! Our friend is back, but he seems very nervous and he keeps barking and jumping. When we opened the door, he rushed out, only to come back a moment later and bark at us again. Maybe we should follow him? What gear shall we take? We'll take the map. Give me Pancake. A well-prepared hiker always takes a map. That's what we always say. Thanks to our trustly atlas, we were able to take a look at the devastation of our town and get back home. Rather, our shelter just in time for dinner. Pancake tagged along for a while. We left before we got to the bunker. Before we got back, we were able to take a detour and get some cans locked in a car. Good thing we did some reading about car mechanics in the Scout Handbook. I got all the food in the world. We found some weird mushrooms growing on the walls. Food storage is no laughing matter. Maybe it would be a good idea to grab a mushroom bite or two. What's the worst thing that can happen? No! I refuse to grow twice my size from eating a mushroom. Mary Jane was supposed to be back in a few days. It's been too long. We fear something bad has happened to her. Well, we're down to Ted. Which means he gets to eat all the food he wants. Claustrophobia is difficult to fight against, especially in a little cluttered bunker. Maybe it could be open the door for a few minutes. Let's marry. No! Eat the yummy Amanita muscaria? I don't know what that is. Well, obviously it's a type of mushroom, but I don't know what that is. Keeping the door closed was the right thing to do, but the tensions are rising in our tiny little shelter. Ted, have you tried soup? Wouldn't it be fantastic if we just get out and leave off the surface like we used to, smell the fumes and pollution? Ah, that's a sense of freedom we missed. Mushrooms are gross. Can we get to the fabled day 69? Hopefully the time to leave will come soon. Ted looks like he's got one foot in the grave. He needs water right now. Yep, Ted's gonna die. Ted shall die on day 69. The gas mask, of course, is no cheap to wear outside unless it's Halloween. Be a good idea to fix it. Sure. Poison mushroom red with white spots. Face for looking like the Mario one. How about the Mario ones? No, that's right. Shiitake mushrooms are, they're brown in color. Yeah, no, you're right. We made it to day 69. It looks almost brand new. It's interesting that the scouting handbook sports instructions for gas mask repair. Oh well, who wants to try it first? Ted, just have some soup, man. Knock knock, the sound always surprises us and confuses us. It can mean anything, good or bad, but we're always curious. Should we open the door? Just this once, we will say yes. The end. Holy shit, we survived. And we got another achievement out of it. We spent 70 days in our shelter. That ultimately went a lot better than I thought it was going to. You're not going to tell me what happened? We did it! Yay! How come I didn't get the one achievement for doing the doing it on the easy difficulty? Oh, that's credits again. I think it said do all modes. I thought we did that. Win a game in every mode on Little Boy difficulty. What mode didn't I do, though? So we did the Apocalypse, which is both scavenge and survival. Because Apocalypse does everything. In Atomic Drill, I don't think you can select difficulty, because that's just a tutorial. Unless I have to do individually scavenge in survival, which is a little doo-doo. But I do have coffee that's probably gone cold, and I'm gonna go grab it. So we shall perform a quick BRB. I'll be back in literally like 5 minutes. BRB. Again, Mr. Burbadiah, we have returned. And we're probably gonna try that one again. Let me double check the achievements. Okay, so that's the end of the list. If you play it, they will come. I'm not sure exactly what that would be. Let me go ahead and mosey on over to the True Steam Achievements website. Shout out to True Achievements. What am I looking for? 60 seconds. Bear with me. So let's go in order. If I had to guess, it's playing music right or you're rescued. Was it? I would have to double check that. The next one we have is the Conrad style, if we decide to go down the order. I don't know if there's any advice on how to complete that, or... Well, there's a couple guides here. Difficulty easy, mode survival, shelters, pre-stock with lots of food and a ton of random items, as well as all family members. Unlock requirements, get to day 111. Reset if you don't have a radio and a gas mask, since you will lose valuable days. Day 5, give them only water. You can save your cans for the first few days. Day 10, and every 5 days after, give everyone food and water. Scavenge early. This is so you are well stocked for the late game when raiders and problems start to appear. Don't use the med kit unless it's Ted or Dolores, since they are the most important. If one of the kids gets sick, make them scavenge since they aren't as important. Or will say, but it's true. Or Pancake if you really want him. Try your best to keep everyone sane, whether you have to look at a picture of a relative or talk to someone if someone isn't talking, etc. Do your best to pick some sane decisions. Cool, yeah, we'll go ahead and give the... I have no idea. I just shot in the dark. Ah, I see. I don't know. I mean, we can certainly test it, because we'll go ahead and try to do the Conrad style. Because that quick guide that I read over made it seem like it's actually, not as difficult as I thought it was going to be. Which their recommendation... Oops, that's wrong. The recommendation is do it on the easiest difficulty, and then just start with survival, because it's going to come pre-stock with a lot of stuff. Let's give it a rundown. We're trying to survive 111 days. And this will probably take up the remainder of the hour, and then we shall switch over to Fallout. That's a very good spread of supplies. That is very nice. All of us made it into the shelter just a second before the blast. That was a close one, as long as we're all in together. Okay. So I'm going to do a little bit less reading, just to try to get through this. Plus, it's all the same stuff that gets repeated over and over again. So the guide I read, it's really weird when you get the feeling that something is watching you. Our shelter is tiny, but this has been bugging us for a while now. We checked all the closets and no one's hiding there. Is there something alive down here besides us? Maybe a rodent of some kind? If so, we need to show it that we are the dominant species in this little paradise of ours. I'm gonna say no. Because I feel like I would break one of the tools if I said yes to that. I lost a soup can. Oh, okay, so we attacked... One of the issues that bothers me with games like this, me not selecting anything is just us, you know, deciding to do it without using the thing. And I wish it was a little bit more clear that this thing's gonna happen regardless. This is just you selecting a weapon. The guide I read said to give them water on day 5, and then feed and water them on day 10, and then repeat every 5 days, giving them supplies. We are not alone. There's a huge hairy bunny beast that seems to be hiding in one of the pipes. It's been poking its head out, eyeing our measly food stash. We can't let it get to it. We can't let it be in here when we sleep. Sure, I'll shoot a rabbit. And before they all die. No, we're okay. But we lost our gun. Okay, yeah, we lost the gun, so... Water for everyone. Oh no, this freaking game. Hi, Rio. How's it going, good lad? We got 2 achievements so far. Rio, you seem to hate the games I play. You literally hate every game that I'm currently streaming. 60 Seconds, Fallout 1, I guess you don't necessarily hate Mega Man 9, and then Professor Layton. Hello, Borb. It's hard not to worry, considering your current situation. Some days we're still struggling to deal with the shelter life, but we can't lose hope. We always steered away from casinos, gambling dens, and the like, so when a man can't... Yeah, we're not gonna gamble. Brad, desync. Oh, no! I'm fine on my end. I'm okay on my end. Gambling is a terrible habit. What kind of example? I didn't see any issues. I didn't drop frames or anything. We need supplies, we're not getting them that way. Everybody's okay. Rio, we're currently trying to go for the Conrad style achievement, which is going to give us a, which requires us to survive 111 days. And we have no tools to check those supplies. So things are better left untouched and unknown. Whatever's behind that door, we have to stay there. We also stack some furniture against it just to be sure nothing and no one comes through. Oh, we didn't expect to get a phone call so soon after an atomic bomb. Yeah, we'll send Timmy out. Why not? Yeah, I don't know, Burp. When we answer the phone, we clearly hear gas release. Alright, it's the twins. Everybody's hungry. We didn't think we would get a chance to increase our food supply with some... I'm not playing the card game, bud. Get out of here. So some of the Sonic glitches were faked, but there's so many more real ones. Good and sad. Are you still planning on picking up the Switch version tomorrow? Or streaming it tomorrow, rather? Ah, coffee. Dreadful silence. Yeah, we'll use the radio. I just know people have been giving Aaron from Game Grumps a lot of grief over some of his tweets concerning the glitches. How fortunate we took the radio. Okay. What else goes in on us? The space is getting smaller with every passing minutes. We need to get out of here now. Open the door. Open the damn door. Yeah, sure. Why not? Some fresh air will be good for you. Sonic Too Many Colors will be only be good on PC. And Ted got sick. Good job, you loon. Open the door and letting contaminated air in was a great idea. Now instead of phobias, we need to deal with vomiting. Alright, Ted, you loon. Yeah, sure, we'll radio in to Rio, who is clearly the government. At this point, I might as well stream the Wii version. I mean, do it, coward. I never played Sonic Colors. Oh, that's sweet. The animated emotes actually are animated in the on-screen chat. That makes me very happy. Yeah, military's out there, yada yada yada. Good. Happy and good. We started arguing with Doris about opening the bunker door for a few days back. She's really aggressive, and this could quickly escalate into something major. Should we try to ease her down? The alternative is our very own small war. Yeah, try not to fight with each other, please. Colors is like the best modern Sonic game. Rio, as the Sonic aficionado, is Colors better than Generations? Because I really enjoy Generations. Did Colors come out after Generations? Doors had to release some steam, that's all. We're all a bit tired, but hopefully this can be cured with a good night's sleep. Yeah, everybody's okay. I should be able to get one more day before I need to feed and water everyone. We're sure we looked through our supplies carefully, but Mary Jane spotted something. Sure. Yeah, we'll plan it. Color versus 4th generation, I'd say they're on par. They're fairly equal in my mind. That's fair. I really, really liked Generations. That was one of the best Sonic games I played. Everybody needs food and water today. Yeah, let's keep moving. Moving right along. Colors is really good 2D, one Generations is good 3D, so different style of game. Fair. Very fair. A relocation is probably something we'll be able to discuss after we get out of here. Okay, everybody's all right. We shall keep on moving. Tim got back to the shelter from his expedition and looked fine, but it turned out he had hurt his hand on a piece of rusty metal and the wound was affected. It doesn't look like it's healing up. We have to patch it. Sure, we'll use the axe. Let's just lob his hand off. I do judge Generations a tad because they just kind of remade zones from the past, but it's still very fun. I mean, that was kind of the point of it, that was to remake the zones. Well, we lost the axe. That's a little unfortunate. Oh, Timmy's not fully healed. He'll be okay. I respect Generation so hard because they acknowledge and remade levels from 06. Yeah. We were discussing plans for our first meal that didn't feature tomato soup when we heard yells from outside. We discovered they came from a small group of ragged survivors. They were sorry sight and were surprised when we weren't surprised when they requested aid. Sure, I'll give them food. We have a little bit to spare. Day 18. Visitors have problems finding words to express their gratitude, yada yada yada. Hey, yeah, everybody's hungry and thirsty, but y'all can wait. Sure, yeah, we'll definitely listen to the radio. I need somebody to get into a healthy status so that we can start an expedition. Yeah, but that doesn't really make sense, and canon D06 never happened to retcon itself at the end. Burb, are you concerning yourself with Sonic canon? I mean, I'm not judging you for enjoying a game how you want to enjoy. But it's also kind of like, expecting Mario to have concise canon. You would expect a nuclear explosion would be enough to... yeah. I don't think a game where two versions of time traveling Sonic concerns itself with canon too much. That is what... I made a piranha plant. Guys, we grew a piranha plant. Everybody needs food and water. Wish we got another 5 days of supplies worth. Particularly sensation woke us up. The wars got us out of bed. Turns out Mary Jane's plant is some sort of plant monster, and it's out for blood, brains, or whatever it chews. We need to do something. Do we kill the piranha plant? Vote now if you're, call in to vote now. Do we or do we not kill the piranha plant? How about the annoying boss fight where 20 side characters cheer you on and be useless on the sidelines? Which one? I played all of Generations. I'm not sure which one you're referring to. The plant's head is gone. There's nothing... I ate 2 of my foods! I don't remember the final boss. Wasn't it some sort of genie or some bullshit? There's nothing we could do to fight that damn plant. We're lucky you didn't eat us alive, but it did steal some of our food, which is not great. Enough of this plain tasteless water. Dolores is really craving a cup of coffee. Real true blue American coffee. The kind that you can drink 5 cups and still feel sleepy. But where are we going to find that in this wasteland? Dolores' favorite diner is there. It used to be a few blocks away. Yeah, sure, go for it, Dolores. Go be brave. No, that's Secret Rings. I don't remember. Great, we got a whole pot of cold coffee. It tastes weird and we don't have any sugar or milk to give it flavor, but it'll do. It's a step from the bland and slightly irradiated water we've been drinking. The pot only had a few cups worth of coffee and we gulped it all down in mere minutes. All of us are very alert and ready for anything, for the next 5 or so minutes anyways. Okay, that's actually bueno. That's actually very good, because we could send somebody now. We don't have a flashlight to heal from the military. Don't remember the boss in Generations. Time meter, 2 Eggmans, big purple cloud thing. Yeah, I'm probably remembering him correctly in my head. At least how you fight him. But, yeah, I don't remember. We'll send Timmy out, and he can have the gas mask. I don't know why Timmy's my sacrificial lamb always when we're sending somebody out into the ways. Well, let me give that a tippity tap. Yeah, I vaguely remember. It's been years since I played Generations. I should play that again. Very good game. Okay. Okay, we do have enough to feed and water everyone tomorrow. Some door-to-door salesman found his way to a shelter. Remember him from before the apocalypse. No, yeah, I got no supplies to give you, buddy. Yeah, it's been a while since I played Generations. The boss itself is cool, but all Sonic's friends keep talking and it gets annoying. I vaguely remember that. Everybody needs food and water. And hopefully Timothy comes back with some food. Please? Buddy? We just remembered our plan on taking a trip to 2 months. Yeah, we already talked about that, you wackos. We can make working in Toronto. Question is, how do we find a boat to get there? We've heard that's the best way to get to Europe. There isn't anything new bothering Mary Jane, yada yada yada. There's nothing more surprising than a knock on a fallen shelter door. Sure, we'll say yes. Okay, I don't see anything good or bad. Oh, we got 2 extra soup cans. Turns out it was a nice mysterious fellow in a weird suit. He gave us some soup cans that will help survive the next couple of days. Excellent. Note on the doorstep took us all by surprise. It was a request to bring some supplies to a supplication signed friends. Friends? What kind of friends? We don't know who these people are, but here's our chance to find out. They're promising to make it worth our while. Should we help them? No, that's my food. How dare Rio abandon the chat after getting me started about Sonic games, right? Rio, come on. You're the Sonic the Hedgehog. When there's other people in need, we feel bad for them, but we cannot spare the supplies right now. This will have to wait. We were so afraid for Timmy, but it came back. When our scavenge trip was about to end with nothing, we remembered there was one place where we haven't looked yet. One place that is literally on our doorstep. Trash cans in our neighborhood. One of our pre-blast neighbors threw out a few unopened cans of soup. Ha, joke's on him. If he's in his shelter right now, he's probably full of regrets. With a lawn like that, who wouldn't be? Mary Jane keeps fading. We really need to find her something to drink fast. Timmy's diet needs food. It's today or never. I guess we gotta feed Timmy. Yeah, we'll feed Timmy, and then we'll get everyone back on the same schedule. Yeah, we need to plan another expedition. I had to do things. It's Labor Day, good sir. How dare you do things? Never mind that I'm trying to work a part-time job on Labor Day. We thought playing the silent game would be a good idea. That's never a good idea. Now everybody's back on the same feeding and watering schedule. Put that away for a second. Doris is fatigued and dehydrated. Okay, everybody's fatigued and dehydrated. I guess we'll send Mary Jane. Just because the children can be sacrificed. And before Burb quotes me. Timmy should eat something. Timmy's fine. He'll be okay. We're getting there. We're nearly halfway. Military transmitting again. We still don't have a flashlight. And remember, our goal is not to beat the game. Our goal is just to survive until 111. And before Burb quotes me, Brett 2021. Love you, man. Yes, I will trade you cards for the first aid kit so I can heal Timmy. Hey, Mary Jane's back. The girls were very kind, yada yada. Oh, Nothing made us happier than the sight of Mary Jane returning to the shelter from the surface. We were not alone outside the shelter. At first, it seemed like the creature stalking us felt to give itself a taste of them. To our relief, it turned out to be a friendly monkey. Oh, it's the monkey one again. We got food and water. Excellent. We're going to heal up Timmy. Then I guess we'll send Dolores for an expedition. We're stumbled upon the remains of a bandit shantytown. Someone or something tore it down. Incidentally, amidst the road, we found a cat licking its paws nonchalantly, surrounded by blood. Nope, we're going to say no to the cat. Because the cat can make Ted sick, and we're not about that life. Yeah, imagine having things to do. What a loser. Doing things. We don't need any more mouse fees. Also, cats can't be trusted, especially in these troubled times. We ignored the scratching and everything was quiet last night. Where's my cat? Well, she's not here anymore. And we need to feed water, everyone. We're going to be sending Dolores out. The gas mask broke. I guess we'll send you out unarmed. That'll be fine. Mary Jane's diet, could use a little food, yada yada. Playing a game or two might be a good way to relieve. Yeah, why not? Sure. We got checkers. We started acting out scenes for favorite movies for some reason. Every time we picked a new scene. Yeah. Yada yada. The maniacs with the neighbor's barbecue. Next date, please. We found an unsigned letter today. The stranger asked for help. Apparently there are a few survivors and grave needed supplies. I don't have supplies to give you people. Get over it. My food. You can't have any. And everybody needs food and water tomorrow. Found some mushrooms? No. We do not eat the mushrooms. Mushrooms will make us sick. As a general rule, we don't eat mushrooms in this household. And feeding water, everyone. Stores coming back. It didn't tell me she died yet, so we're okay. Someone paid his fetish and was an overly cheerful red-headed woman accompanied by a grumpy-looking mercenary type who was probably her guard. She told us that she was a traitor and eagerly showed us the item she brought along. Do I want a flashlight in exchange for bug spray? I don't, because the bug spray can be used it can be used defensively. While the flashlight, not so much. You alright, Timmy? What you looking at, boy? We started turning down because of that damn cheerfulness, but we did it anyway. The woman seemed a bit disappointed and tried to offer us schematics for some weird gun. We turned that down too. It's not like we have any tools around here anyway. Yeah, trip to Nevada that we're never taking. Because it's Nevada. Why would you want to go? Nevada's probably nice, actually. Alright, I see food and water, so excellent. Maybe moving won't be too bad. We can probably make new friends, meet new people, provided anyone is still alive, that is. We are glad to see Dolores came back safely from the wasteland. It might sound paranoid, but we think someone followed us. Let's just hope this doesn't happen again. A pile of car wrecks revealed that we stumbled across a parking lot. Almost no cars survived the blast, but we went between the wrecks to explore anyways. Under the burnt remains of a picnic table, we found some bottled water. The bottles were not in the best state, but their contents looked perfectly drinkable. It seems like the bomb interrupted someone's picnic. Thankfully, they were big fans of tomato soup. and the indestructible cans were scattered all around the parking lot. Imagine taking cans of tomato soup to a fucking picnic. What? Imagine being that insane. Doris, are you okay? Doris absolutely needs to eat. Okay. We can do that. Ted is vigorous enough to withstand the hazards of the wasteland. Mary Jane's more than ready. We're not going to do an expedition for a couple days. It's like a drink and food at the same time. Save on space. Yonzer and I have both made the argument that eating the tomato soup should technically rehydrate you a little bit. Tomato soup to a picnic. Insanity. We opened the bunker door this morning to let in some fresh air. Radioactive. I'm gonna sneeze. No, we're not opening the suitcase. Oh, goodness. Oh, sneezing. We have no idea who left this, and nowadays you can't trust anybody. We're not risk our lives for some supplies that they could be poisoned. Oh, thank you, Burp. Feed and water everyone tomorrow. Still gonna hold off on the expeditions. There goes again, noises. We're noises all the time. They're coming for the pipes. Wall. Is something behind the door? We don't know. It's driving us insane. Sure, let's play checkers to ignore the noise. That's what, rational people do. Having some fun made us forget about... What was it again? Cool. Food and water for everyone. This rate I could go till day 55, I think, before bad things happen. Everything would be fine if it wasn't for Dolores. She doesn't seem well. She used to be so energetic and happy. Now she just sits there and sulks. We should do something about it. I'll smack her in the face with a book. Snap her out of it. Giving Dolores a book seemed like a good idea, but she was too tired and too sad to read anything. We hope she gets better soon. Alright. Well, I mean, Dolores, you're not insane for being depressed. During an apocalypse, or during any time, really. Let's be honest here. Day 47. Nearly halfway there. We decided to have some fun and play a game, yada yada. Next day, please. We played I Spy till we hated playing I Spy. This I Spy is awful. We received a mysterious note today, partly requesting that we share some supplies with other survivors. No, we're not gonna do it. It's my soup. You can't have any. We know there's other people in need, but my family's also struggling, so no. We use some extra supplies. Last time we went on a supply run, we noticed a damaged tank stuck in rubble nearby. How about we send someone to investigate? I've been told to ignore the tank, because it usually either has nothing or it blows up. So we're gonna ignore it. Last time it did give us a gas mask, but that's also not entirely useful to me right now. Everybody's hungry, right? Everybody needs to be fed and watered. I do need to send somebody out. I do not have a choice. Okay. We're gonna send Timmy. And we're not gonna send him out with anything. Alright, the radio's going off. And military again wants me to use the flashlight. Not happening. Oh boy, what we got, Rio? Release me, game. I don't care if it cost an encoding overload. This made me very happy. I'm glad I clicked on that. Ridley is a good dad. Samus won custody. Oh, goodness. Oops, I turned the jar off. Oops, turned Bitbox off. Oops, turned chat off. Don't mind me misclicking literally everything. I'm glad I clicked on that. The gas mask of ours. Yeah, sure, we'll fix the gas mask. Or we cannot fix the gas mask. We have the best intentions, but something went terribly wrong. The damn mask just fell apart. We can't do much with that trash. Well, that's unfortunate. Mary Jane has been driving hints that it's a special day for her today. We had to think about it hard, and after eliminating your Howard festivities, the anniversary of that great barbecue we had 3 years ago, and an international popcorn day, we realized she was talking about her birthday. That means we need to get her a gift. Sure, have some bug spray. Because these days are all about those spray deodorants. The anti-bug spray probably works the same way. Okay. Unfortunately, we're gonna have to let Dolores and Mary Jane die. The last thing we expected to hear while sitting in a fallout shelter was a trumpet. It was played by someone who was clearly not a trumpet player and who had probably never heard a trumpet player in his entire life. He came with a friend who knocked on the door and demanded that we let the merriment enter so that we could take from the rich and give to the poor. Should we let them in? Sure. So, yep. Mary Jane and Dolores are gone now. But when we had a few drops of water, we could have avoided what happened. Dolores died of dehydration last night. When Mary Jane found out she's not getting a single drop of water, she got furious. She stormed down into the wasteland, shouting over her shoulder that we'll regret this and that she's getting her water one way or another. We are seriously terrified right now. Those married men were not married at all. They told us that we were rich and that we should share with the other 99% of the wasteland. They grabbed a few things and left. We couldn't do anything to stop them. Their green clothes were too damn hypnotizing. That is fine. There's never a good time to go out into the radioactive wasteland, but it seems like this will become a necessity in the world of ours. I thought it would be a good idea to make this happen sooner rather than later and plan a trip outside. Before we can make the third step beyond the shelter doors, an unknown creature started growling at us in the darkness. We only had moments to decide what to do. We're gonna do nothing. Timmy! You're back! You're kind of effed, huh? Yeah, we're probably not gonna win this. Especially since Timmy didn't bring water. Felt it was too risky to face whatever horror waited in the shadows. We did what any sane person would do. We shut the door. The creature was gone the next morning. Timmy found us a radio and a map, but no food. Oh, Timmy, sorry to say, but your ass is gonna die, because I don't have anything I can give you. And all the supplies belong to Ted. But we're not trading shit with you. Go away, man. I got one can of food left. Timmy and Ted are not happy, but you know. Small muddy pond in the park nearby. Too bad we've got our fishing rod. Perhaps we could try to fish something out with it. Sure, why the fuck not? We'll use the briefcase to try to fish. Sounds like a damn good idea, I guess. We got cards out of it. Okay. Suitcase wasn't exactly waterproof, plus the pond water stank to high heaven and was weirdly green and probably radioactive. Suitcase might have melted a little. It was worth it though, right? Yeah, sure. Food and water for Ted. Sorry, Timmy. You expect the post-apocalypse to be a time of peace and quiet since, you know, most of the people aren't around anymore. Yet we have someone at the door. When we open it, we encounter a strange-looking man in a blue jumpsuit who asks us to trade him a water chip. Water chip? What the hell is that? Is that a reference? That's a reference to Fallout 1. Holy shit. A man in a blue jumpsuit offering to trade for a water chip. That's 100% a reference to Fallout 1 that I'm only now getting. We're sorry to explain that we didn't know what a water chip was and that we didn't have one. He thanked us in a few short words and left. That's kind of cool, now that I understand that. We're probably going to make it to day 65. Timmy should... Yep, Timmy's gone. And unless Ted can get food... Or more water, rather. In the next couple days, we're not going to be doing too good. And Ted's insane. Very good. 2 more days. Drink the soup, Ted. Look, man, the soup will only do so much for us. It was an exciting day for Ted. All of a sudden, he found car keys in his back pocket, as he'd been sitting on them this whole time. Anyway, it got him reminiscing about his favorite automobile. Now he's worried about it being parked up for too long. Someone tells us it's least of the trouble at the moment, but Ted seems really eager to go out and turn the engine over. Yeah, sure, why the fuck not? We're probably gonna blow up, but whatever. Day 71? Wait a minute. Wait. Did we just jump like 6 days? Since Ted doesn't remember where he last parked the car, this could take a while. Hopefully he's back soon with good news. If the car still works, maybe we can all get out of here and drive somewhere safe. Ted is safely returned. Oh, I get you. It jumped because Ted went on an expedition. Ted is safely returned from his voyage to the surface. The padlock in our shelter really came in handy. We used it to secure our home. We leave for an expedition. When we came back, we found signs of an attempted break-in. Padlock is too damaged to be used again, but at least our safe house is well safe. No day 69, Sag. Yeah. Unfortunate. We found an unsigned letter today. The stranger... No, I'm not giving you any food. Go away. Oh boy, Rio. What we got today? Yeah, I believe I've seen that. Friendly reminder that Skyward Sword's a good game. Despite what Rio says. Present R.I.P. Stink? Yeah? Alright, Teddy boy, can we fix you? Sure, we'll gather around the radio. Oh, it's a good game, but a good Zelda game? Yeah, it is. Is it a Zelda game? And is it a good game? Both things are correct. Therefore, it is a good Zelda game. See, I threw that wrinkly brain logic at ya. Alright, Ted's doing... He's doing okay. We do have to feed him, though. And I don't have anything to water him with. We need medical supplies, and what we have is a bad joke. Yeah, sure, why not? Well, Yep, there's stuff. Unfortunate. Day 75, we got close. We got close. Alrighty, chat. So, we have 2 options. I can either go ahead and give the 111-day run another shot, or we could switch over to Fallout. Which do we prefer? Was Hitler a good leader? Yes. Was Germany equal? Shit's only lead to great things. I mean, define good leader. Define good leader. Do we give it another run, or do we switch to Fallout? Cast your votes now. Fallout. Excellent. We shall switch over.